Recording.
Okay.
Perfect.
All
Okay,
right.
and we are all
right.
set in Civic Clerk, so we can go ahead and open the meeting.
Okay, very good. Well, Happy New Year, everybody, to all fellow alders and citizens at large in Green Bay and other areas if you're here. Welcome to our Protection and Policy Committee meeting for January 11th, 2021. We'll do a roll call. Alder Stoyer, I am here. Alder LaFave.
Here.
Alder Vanderleest.
Here.
Alder Stevens.
Here.
Buddy is here.
All right, approval of the agenda.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
Motion to
I'll move.
approve.
Approved by Alder LaFave. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Alder Vanderleest. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, that passes unanimously.
All right, and approval of the minutes.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Stevens. Do we have a second?
Second. Whichever.
I'll flip a coin. Right now it's LaFave. Seconded by LaFave. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, that passes unanimously.
Okay, and we are on to regular business, item number 1.
Okay, regular business number 1, consideration with possible action on an application for an available Class B combination license by Mangari LLC at 121 North Adams Street with a licensed premise description as restaurant, kitchen, bar, 4 bathroom, 1 liquor storage room, 2 walk-in coolers, maintenance room, FS washing, dishwashing room, currently licensed as Scallywags High Cotton Club Limited. Staff.
Staff has no objection.
Police.
The police concur.
Does anybody from committee have any questions? Otherwise, I'd entertain a motion.
Motion to approve. Motion to approve.
Motion by Stevens and second by Vanderleest. Is that all right?
That's fine.
Second by Vanderleest. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, that passes unanimously. I would like to let the citizens know that our next city council meeting will be January 19th. And that will be, it'll go to final approval. Anything on this committee is advisory in a sense, but it will go for final approval on the 19th if you have any questions. But
Mark, do you want to give them the time on the 19th?
6 o'clock, 6 o'clock on the 19th, another Zoom meeting.
That's a Tuesday, Mark.
Yes, that's Tuesday.
Oh, we're changing it to a Tuesday. Okay.
Well, no, I'm talking, council is always usually on Tuesday.
Oh,
right.
I'm sorry. You mean the council? Oh, good.
Yes, did I mention
Oh,
that?
I thought you said our
did.
next protection
Council.
policy. I
I said
apologize.
council.
Yeah.
All right,
It's council.
all right. Ready for
All
number
right,
2?
item number 2.
Number
Yes.
2, consideration with possible action on the Class A liquor and Class A beer license at 2030 East Mason Street with a licensed premises description as behind the counter shelves, in-store, back office, storage. Staff.
Staff has no objection. There is no license currently at this location, and it is not within 300 feet of a church or school.
Okay, police.
The police concur with law.
Okay, I would entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Can I ask,
Yes, go ahead.
is there a map that shows where this is?
Just so you know, this location is pretty much right at, is where Topper's Pizza is in that little strip mall over on Mason Street by Main, kind of right at that intersection. A long time ago, there used to be a Dairy Queen in there.
Okay.
That's where this location is at.
Okay. It's far from, is there another bar? I don't think there's anything close, or is there one across the street?
Bar or?
Wally's Spot is nearby.
No, that's down further.
Not too far.
Wally Spot's about, like, there's a Walgreens kind of kitty corner. Then there's that Little Caesars and that little strip mall right.
Oh, it's down further than what I thought. Okay.
Yep. So it's pretty much right at the intersection of Main and Mason, one of the corners at Main and Mason.
Okay, do you feel that they have to, do they have to go around on that side street to get into that little strip mall?
It depending, yes, they do. And depending on the hours of day, there's certain signs on when they can turn in there, depending on the direction. But yes, they come in pretty much from the back way off August Street or off Bader Street.
So you don't think there'd be a problem with people trying to get, get in there off of Mason Street?
No, not at all.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Otherwise, I'd entertain a motion.
Motion to
Motion
approve.
to approve.
Motion by Stevens, seconded by Vanderleest. Any other discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
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 All opposed? That passes unanimously.
Can I say one thing, Mark? I approved it because there's not a lot around there. I want to make sure that if something's new, that we don't put in where there's a lot of concentrations of places
Okay.
that sell.
Right, I understand.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, well, thank you for that. Okay, Attorney Bungert, are we ready?
Yep, item number 3.
Okay, number 3, consideration with possible action on an application for an available Class B combination license by Kuroky Bar LLC at 500 North Baird Street with a licensed premise description as sold behind the bar, coolers, basement office, currently licensed as Quilts and Beers LLC. Staff.
Yes, so staff has no objection. This is in the old Main Street moratorium, but it's currently licensed exemption.
Okay.
The current licensee no longer has control over the premises, so the owner is applying for the license and did provide a written statement confirming that the former tenant no longer has control, no longer has a valid lease, but it wasn't a surrender to the city, which is why it's being processed as an available license.
So it's okay. So we're not adding anything. It's just transferring.
No, it's right. It's currently, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, police.
Please concur with law.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Stevens, second by LaFave. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, that passes unanimously.
Okay.
Number
Item number 4. Yes.
Okay, number 4, consideration with possible action on an application for a Class B combination license by Jalisco Mexican Restaurant LLC at 418 South Military Avenue with a licensed premise description as main dining room, back area, storage at back office, license granted to Kuroky Mexican Restaurant LLC for the 2020-2021 license year. Staff.
Yes, so staff recommendation on this application is to deny based on safety and lawfulness concerns related to multiple state violations of selling liquor without a license. I do have some language for a motion if that is what the committee does want to pursue, simply because we have to be specific on the record as to why we're denying. But I'm going to defer to Lieutenant Mahoney with more explanation as to our determination on this one.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Lieutenant.
Yes, late last year, specifically on September 23rd of 2020, the State Department of Revenue, they're on the state level for alcohol compliance checks. They met with our department and went to this location because the owners were selling alcohol without a license. The owner that's applying for his license was cited by the Green Bay Police Department as he was serving alcohol. He did sell to the agent from the state of Wisconsin. He sold alcohol to him, and he was told that he needed to apply for a license. Then on December 5th of 2020, that same agent from the Department of Revenue conducted a check as there was some unpaid taxes, and they believed they were still selling alcohol. The agent went to the restaurant, cited signs for various beers. The agent placed a to-go order, and the owner asked the agent if he wanted a drink while waiting for food. The agent asked for a Coors Light. The owner paused a second, and said that he didn't have a liquor license as he failed to apply for one on time, but then winked at the agent and poured him a drink. Then he also then served him 2 strawberry margaritas. So based on that and unpaid taxes, it seems like this owner has no concern for laws or ordinances. This was within 2 months. He obviously knew it was wrong, and I don't believe he would be following our liquor laws in the future if he was granted a license. So that's why we're recommending that he not be granted a license.
Okay. I know, I noticed Leah Weicker, I believe she's here. I'd like to make a motion to, or have a motion made to open the floor.
Motion to
move.
open the floor.
By Vanderleest, do we have a second?
Second.
Second by LaFave. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Leah, are you out there?
I am, Alder Steuer.
Yes, we talked about this briefly a couple of weeks ago, and I just wanted you to, it's a business within the bid district there, and I just wanted you to kind of let us, the committee, know your thoughts on all of this.
Yeah, thank you. I also have Marvin and Maurice with me right now.
Okay.
So
I was going to
Ms. Weicker, can you
Say
state
if
your
they
name
deny,
and
we do it.
address for the committee?
go
And
ahead.
then if other people who are with you are going to speak, please also state your names and addresses for the committee. Thank you.
sure, my name Leah Weicker, LeahWeycker, with Military Avenue Business District. And I'll turn it over to Marvin. here.
My name is Marvin De La Rosa. My address is 833 South Jefferson Street, Green Bay, Wisconsin, 50301. And I'm with Jalisco Mexican Restaurant Business. Along here is.
My name is Maurice Rivera. This is living at 501 South 5th Street, Pharmacy 33.
Did you need spelling on that?
Well, yeah, we could get that if you want to. I wanted you, well, go ahead. I was going to have you talk, Leah, initially, as far as you've been working with these owners. I just wanted you to kind of share that with the committee.
Yeah, I have been working with Marvin and the Kuroky Mexican restaurant since they moved in almost 3 years ago, I believe. It's a tough location. They've done very well in that location. They had some problems recently with the LLC partnership they were in, and that sort of sent things into a spiral with the licensing, the payment of bills, all those things. So they did the correct thing in restructuring into a new LLC. And I believe they need to have this license back if they're going to continue in business. You're going to expect to get a margarita with dinner, and they are experiencing that happening today. And they applied for the license early in December, and it's going to be like end of January before they could even get a license, which is really a long time for us to wait on giving them a license when it's such a critical part of their business. I can vouch for them that they are an awesome business. People in the neighborhood like them. They had a really good clientele, and the people that had been coming expected to find liquor there. So it was very difficult and damaging to the business to make this transition. So I hope that you can vote favorably for them. And I will leave Marvin and Maurice speak to that too if you have questions.
Okay, committee, do you have any, I did
I
talk
have
to.
I have a
Go ahead.
question.
Go ahead, Alder Stevens.
So you stated that they're restructuring their LLC. So who left the business?
So the business, this is Marvin De La Rosa, and I'm speaking on behalf of Maurice also, who is a applying applicant for the liquor license. I would like to address in regards that we did restructure. We had a bad partnership with someone that was from out of state also. And there was, no commitment in regards regards to what we were trying to do as a family, for the district and for the business. There was an unpaid amount of taxes and also some things that were done that was not properly done, and we admitted to that. We wanted to restructure ourselves, as a business, but apparently we couldn't do it with the agreement from the person who was holding the LLC. There was no commitment in his behalf in order to structure the business in a better way where we could, directly make payments. We had to get in touch with him every time that we needed something to be done because he was the sole proper owner of the LLC. So now we wanted to restructure and reinvent ourselves since the one who sacrificed the time and the money that we had on our savings to continue the business and keep the business moving forward. But we have come into an obstacle with the liquor license. And just in food alone, we're not able to meet the numbers just to stay alive. Me personally, I haven't paid my rent. I haven't paid my bills at home. I don't know if I get an eviction anytime soon, along with my wife and my kids. We have 4 kids. So there is a lot of things at stake and at hand. And I understand that there has to be some trust in how we're going to, rebuild ourselves and do it in a legal way, in a proper way, and where we could prove you that that's what we want to do. We want to move forward, but at the same time, we want to do it in the right way. We ask you to reconsider, the decision that was made before for the provisional license. We understand that there was a mistake done, but, as a human being, we have other things that, concern to our family, like our bills, the restaurant bills, and trying to stay afloat. I think if we had it would be beneficial to the business to keep moving forward. But at this time, to be honest, I don't know if we could stay at least another month, alive. I don't think, the business has some food alone, because we have clients that come in, but they leave once they know we don't have a liquor license. We're not here to commit any crime. We're here to, try to improve the district also, but also to try to improve our business and be able to be part of the society. We just wanted an opportunity to be able to, to work. We want to be able to work, and we want to be able to prove you that we could continue on and do it in the right way. We just want that from your part.
Okay, so is the taxes paid in full?
The taxes on the previous, on this one, we are on the taxes already, on this one, on this LLC. The taxes for the other LLC, that leads to Gonzalo Mancia, which is the previous LLC, the one who have no commitment to the business in regards to moving it forward. He saw it as a more of a personal gain rather than being a team member and say, okay, you are the one who are sacrificing the time of being there. You are
so this gentleman is no longer associated with your business?
No, sir. This gentleman is no longer in the business at all.
Okay, thank you.
That was a question I had. I was wondering that, drinks were being given, out, as Lieutenant Mahoney said. Was this from this other person, or were you aware of that situation?
I was aware of the situation. I presented to this person that we needed to move forward and be able to clarify those, taxes statement. But the person, he had no commitment. He had no willing to fix that. I saw it in a way to try to destroy us, by not being able to pay those, But we keep moving forward, even though we wasn't even making the money to say that we was paying ourselves a salary or making any good survival things, But we wanted to move forward because we have already invested years in the business. The clientele in this community knew us, not him, So he was not involved in regards to, okay, let's get this clarified. It was more of a personal gain to him rather than having us being able to grow with him.
Okay. Well,
Okay, I have
I
a
wanted to
question
ask,
for, I have a question
Go
for
ahead. Go ahead.
Lieutenant.
Yes,
Um,
but
so the citations, who were the individuals cited? Their name?
the individual that was cited is Morris Hernan Rivera Pineda. I believe one of the other gentlemen that is still the current owner. It wasn't anyone from a past LLC. It was, I understand the whole tax thing, but our concern as the police department is someone that's currently there served alcohol without a license. It had nothing to do with an LLC and past taxes. It has to do with the people that were there now knew they didn't have the license. They intentionally sold it, and they even winked at the agent and made a gesture like, hey, don't tell anyone, yet they still did it. That is our objection to it. I feel sorry that with all the restructuring, but their current owner was the one that received it back in September and also received it in December, a couple months apart. In between September and December, no one came forward to apply for the license during that time when they knew they didn't have the license.
May I speak?
Yeah, the floor is still open. It's just, who is this speaking?
Thank you. This is Marvin de la Rosa. The reason that took place in December, at the time that in the first incident where we were selling alcohol without a license, it was to the Kuroky LLC. At that time, we didn't have no knowledge because of the fact that this person, he was the one on the LLC. He was the only person allowed to renew the liquor license. So as I said before, this person saw it as a way of destruction. I don't renew the license, they basically done. So we didn't knew that he didn't renew the license at that time. At that time, it was the police department came in for unpaid sales taxes. So at that time, when they looked at the license, it was expired. It was not renewed. So basically, we closed the restaurant from that day on because we can't move forward and then sell, anymore. So we reinvented ourselves. We came to a negotiation with him that we say, okay, if we're able to continue on, we could pay those taxes at the same time. Being able to have a liquor license allows us to do that. And on the incident that happened in December, we had already applied for the liquor license. What we didn't know was that we could apply for a provisional license. I was not told, or Maurice was not told, that there was an application for a provisional license that he could apply for, and the reason why we came to find about that is because Leah Wakeler is the one who told us, being the president, I have contact, being the president of the military district, I have contact with her, and she advised me and say, this is the way that you could get a provisional license. Now, when that application was in already, we were still waiting and from the main application for the liquor license when that took place. Now, we don't want it to, do something illegal. Now, understand that COVID hurted the business completely. I'm talking about sales of $170 a day. You could barely pay two people with $170, let alone the bills that this business, has. So, not to no disrespect to law enforcement or not to disrespect to the city of Green Bay, we had to do something in order for us to stay alive. This was not doing in the spite of saying, let's violate the laws. No, or let's violate the ordinance. No, sir. We, in no way, our intention was to violate the law at all. What happened is that, like I say, my kids went without Christmas on it, no gift. I got two paternal uncles that died of COVID-19, one on the 21st, one on the 25th, and there was no money to bury them, okay? There was no money to say, okay, let's have a funeral. So understand, I have bills personal, Maurice has bills personals too. So we didn't have no response from the city of Green Bay in regards to say, okay, how is your business doing? Is your business able to maintain? Nothing. So we didn't get no help from no PP loan. We didn't get no help from no other agency that could help us and say, okay, how can we work with you for you to stay alive? Nothing like that happened. So I just want you to know that nothing that happened, you know, came from us in the spy to violate any laws on ordinance. No, sir. That would not come from our part. All we want to do is to work and do it legally, and for you to give us an opportunity. You could put us on probation and say, okay, we're going to put you on probation from this time on and see how you're doing, and we're going to keep checking on you. And we could prove you that that's what we want to do. We want to be able not only to be able to grow as a business, but be part of the community and, you know, be able to be successful. At this time,
Okay,
that's all we ask from you.
all right. Okay, you spoke well on that. I wanted to get back
Can I
to,
clarify, Mr. Steyer?
yeah, I wanted to ask you, Leah, to chime in on this.
The other owner that was part of that other LLC does not live in Green Bay, so he has never been a participant really in the restaurant itself. Marvin and Maurice are the faces, and Marvin's wife, Margarita, are the faces of the business. That person that didn't pay the taxes and that didn't renew the lease or renew the liquor license doesn't even live here.
So the issues that you feel happened because of the other owner or the other people with the LLC?
Absolutely. He was the one that had control of renewing things. Marvin and Maurice did not have that control.
Well,
I have a
obviously
question now.
there was a disconnect. There must have been a disconnect somewhere, you know, between.
Well, it was a fight that it's part of the family, and they were intentionally trying to make these guys go down, is the way I understand it to be.
Okay, Walter Stevens?
Yep, Lieutenant. When was the first citation issued?
The first citation was issued back on September 23rd of 2000.
And the
2000?
second citation?
Oh, I'm sorry, 2020.
Okay,
Yeah, the second citation?
The second citation was issued, let me see here. I'm going through my paperwork. I believe it was on December 7th of 2020.
Okay, December 7th, okay.
Yes.
So I just heard that the gentleman that's no longer with this business hasn't even been in Green Bay. He's working from afar, it sounds like. So the citations that were issued in September and December were issued to the two current owners.
Correct.
That is correct.
Okay, and then they waited until December to file a new liquor license.
Yes.
Okay.
And-
That September to December
They shut the
there's a lot
business
of time
down.
there.
The business was shut down.
Could I ask when the
They were not
business,
open.
could I ask
Go
when the
ahead.
business opened back up? The gentleman said he shut down. What day did he open back up?
December 1st. We opened it December 1st, and that's the time we applied for the liquor license. On December 1st, we sent the application to the city of Green Bay for a liquor license. We didn't have no knowledge in regards to the provisional license. If we didn't have knowledge of it, we would apply for it, but we didn't have no knowledge. We came, to know about the provisional license to Leah Wakely, and that was about
It was later in December.
It was later in December when she was able to give us the information that we could apply for a provisional license.
Leah,
Yes.
can I ask
When
you?
When did
go
the
ahead.
business close?
Yeah.
When did the business close?
When did you close?
The business closed September, right on the same day when we got the citation that the liquor license was not renewed, and we didn't have no knowledge of that. We were surprised that, we didn't have no liquor license. So actually from that day on, we closed the business because of the fact that, we don't have no liquor license. The business was already hurt by COVID. So we say, okay, we're gonna have to restructure ourselves in order to continue on, or this business is gonna have to close. And now everything that went down to this business, there was a previous business in there that nothing was successful. It meant that wasn't able to keep a clientele going on. I'm sure that some of you are familiar with this location, and where there was Mexican restaurants there before, there was a Chinese restaurant there before, and nothing was successful. We happened to take a light, into the community. The community liked us. We sincere people, we honest people. Yes, we made a mistake by selling liquor without a license in December. Yes, we had the knowledge. Yes, we did. We admit to that. But, you know, I think that the circumstances led us to do something like that. And when we say, you know what, we're not selling to minors. We're not selling, this is a restaurant that is more frequently by older people. You know, you won't, I don't think there is a complaint in the city of Green Bay by the police department that could say that we sell to minors or that we sell to people who are over drunk already. Nothing like that. We try to watch for those because we took classes to become bartenders in order to be able to sell liquor. You know, our main thing was that we didn't have no liquor license. We are completely hurt by not having it. You know, our sales dropped dramatically. I'd say 80% of our sales is dropped. Even with our clientele that knew us from before, for the reason that they come in to have a meal, to have a beer, and go home or go to work or something, you know? But by not having that, it's hurting our business. I'd say about 80%.
Yeah, okay, let the committee chime in.
So I'm just trying, I'll be honest, I'm torn on this. So I'm trying to figure out the time frame on what everything has fallen suit over the last few months. You know, you did get the citation the first time, you know, I don't know what the citation states. It's probably for selling liquor. You knew that already. But then you opened up December 1st, but you chose to sell a liquor license and then you got citation on the 7th. So I'm assuming you were closed all those months ahead of time. I've never been there, so I couldn't tell you. So I'm taking your word that you've been closed. I'm torn because you already had one citation in September, but you chose to close down. But then you chose to reopen. And unfortunately, 7 days later, you got nailed again, which you already knew in September that you weren't supposed to sell liquor without the liquor license. And you didn't have a liquor license in your possession when you opened December 1st. So I'm very torn. I understand COVID. I understand the businesses are hurting in Green Bay. I totally do. But we still have rules and policies that we need to all follow.
Yes.
So I'm torn. I truly am torn on this. So that's why I'm just trying to get a timeline, trying to figure it out.
Right. I
Can I ask
appreciate
the
that.
gentleman one more question?
Go ahead.
When did you apply to get your tax registration number for your business?
That was September.
The reason I'm saying this, the warrant that the Department of Revenue used was they saw that you applied on November 1st to get a tax registration for your business. So at that point, once again, that's where the PD, you were starting your business November 1st, not December 1st. So you're thinking about doing that. And then never in November did you apply to get your liquor license, but you applied to get your tax registration. That's why the Department of Revenue, since you got caught before, that's what triggered them to go spot check you again. So that's why I feel bad for you, your family, and the business with COVID, but the PD's opinion is you had ample opportunity to go get this license and you knew about getting the license.
I have to question why they were not instructed that they could get a provisional license on December 1st. That would have solved everything.
I could tell you the provisional license are with the approval of inspection and the PD. At that point, when I researched it, I would not have granted a provisional license because they served alcohol without having a license to begin with. So,
and that would have been in the prior ownership of the business.
The citation that was issued back in September was issued to the current owner, Morris Hernandez Rivera Pineda. So I would not have authorized the granting of a provisional license. So they would not have been able to get one. The same as after he applied this time, he tried to get the provisional and we declined to do that based on his past experience serving without the license.
I would request the city to look into the timeline of the application. I know if they applied in December 1st to reopen, applied for the liquor license, why was the inspection doesn't last? There was an inspector from the city that came last week. That's several weeks after the license application. Because it's Christmas, I understand, but this business needed to keep going. And now I believe there's also an electrician that is out. So there isn't even an inspector to inspect for electricity at this point and at the city of Green Bay. That is not the fault of the business.
I'd like Alder Vanderleest or Alder LaFave. Do you have anything that you want to speak on?
I'd like to just make a comment.
Go ahead, Alder Vanderleest.
I've read the information earlier in the day from the Miss Weicker as far as what went on. They weren't able to, to secure a loan, like they had some loans, provisional loans for, for small businesses, and they weren't able to get that. I think there's been a lot of miscommunication as far as operating their business. And I think they made some missteps as far as not getting the liquor license, in a quick manner and following up on it. And it sounds like, they're making an effort to restructure and, at least give them a chance, another chance to move forward as far as to keep their business going. I know that, they have quite a few things against them, but I know that a lot of people don't know all the rules. They don't know all the requirements as far as city and, when you get into the tax part of it. And sometimes when you do apply for a tax license, as far as, your sales tax and things, it's not done just overnight. Sometimes there's a waiting period there as well. So I think that, if they're willing to restructure and get things moving in the right direction as far as paying their taxes and getting this license and get everything approved as far as I'd like to see them go forward with the business. I hate to see another empty spot in the Westgate Shopping Center there. So I'd be willing to, give them another go at it.
Alder Vanderleest, I was going to
yes.
ask you, the owner mentioned something about probational type of thing. Is that something that you would consider?
Sure, I would definitely consider that. And if they make a lot of miscues, the license can be pulled. There's a miscue, so.
I are with Alder Vanderleest too, and I know Alder Stevens is a little torn on it. Alder LaFave, do you want to chime in?
Yeah, you're listening to all this and you're trying to get it all in line, as I know Alder Stevenson's been trying to timeline. And I think some of it, what I've been hearing is that there was a lot of miscommunication, and the former LLC was interfering with a lot of what's been going on, that they've been having, relying on them and not realizing that some of this, the license was not applied for, or it was and denied.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm kind of torn on it too. It's kind of hard, but
Okay, so
yeah, you want to keep business going. I know you don't want a business to fail,
Right.
especially a family-owned business like this, that they want to keep in the neighborhood. And when you got the people from the Military Avenue corridor supporting them, who feel that they have a good business, I do feel,
Right.
yeah, it's hard. Yeah, it's very hard to decide.
Okay.
I'm thinking about it.
Right. Well, I appreciate that. Just 1 second, Alder Stevens. I was going to say Alder or Leah Weicker, from Military Avenue. I've worked with her on many different structures and buildings and businesses in the district. She's very proactive. She really fights for her businesses, and this is just another one of those things that she's fighting for. And I think she realizes that a mistake was made. But I feel that what I think we can work with this. I really do. Alder Stevens.
Did Paul Vandercaster want something to chime in? I know he turned on his video. So.
Oh, yeah. Paul, do you want to chime in, or do you want to wait for your next item?
No, I'll just chime in. We did do the inspection, so inspections isn't holding them up. We authorized the approval. The liquor is going to be inspected, the electrical is going to be inspected this week. So they're fine. They run a clean operation from an inspection point of view.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so I do have a final comment.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I'm still torn on this. But my final comment is, when you operate a business, it comes down to the business owner.
Yeah.
They need to find the correct people, business attorney, whoever it'll be, that can point them in the right direction. There may have been miscommunications or, things not asked that should have been asked, but that does fall on the business owner.
Can I answer to that, Alder Steuer?
Yeah.
Yes.
In a different part of my life, I am also a business owner of a Green Bay business and have zero to say about that business. So because that owner is an LLC person, it's still, and they're all owners technically in an LLC. Many times the LLC people don't know what the other hand is doing. And I can personally vouch for that in another business.
Well, anyway, I had discussion on this. I think we should move forward. I would like someone to bring a motion forward. Alder Vanderleest?
Alder
Yes.
Steuer, we need to close the
Oh,
floor.
you're
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Thank you.
Motion to close the floor.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I shall,
Alder Steuer, that was Vanderleest, who made the
Yes.
motion. Second was,
Fave.
who was the second? Okay.
LaFave.
And before we move on, I did just want to make one, I'm just recording this vote. Sorry. I did just want to make one comment before the committee moves forward. I know somebody had mentioned that, I think it was Alder Vanderleest, that if subsequent violations occur, that the license can be revoked, and that is true. I just do want to remind the committee that it is very limited upon which the bases upon which we can revoke a license is very limited and quite time consuming and intricate. So I just don't want the committee to be under a false impression that it's as easy as just taking away someone's license. It requires a complaint to be drafted up by the assistant city attorney and a hearing to be done, and there's appeal opportunities for the licensee. So it can take, a good several months to conclude. And it's usually not enough to proceed for revocation just based on one or two violations. It usually has to be a history. So I just wanted the committee to be a little bit more aware as far as what that process is. When a license is granted, that it is a big, it is an involved process to revoke. So.
Okay. Alder LaFave, before we move on.
Yeah, I think with, I'm sorry, I forgot her name from military.
Leah Weicker.
Leah, yeah. I think with her backing, I think she's probably going to be watching this and making sure that they follow through on, things that they said that they're going to do, and clean up the business, make sure everything's done legally and run as a good business in the community. So
Would you like to make a motion to that effect? Would you like to make a motion, Alder LaFave?
well, or John, do you want to make the motion? And I'll second.
I'll make the motion to, to give them another chance and to, approve the application and to move forward with their business. That's my
Okay, do we have a
motion.
second?
Second.
Okay, any other discussion? All in favor? I will say aye.
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 Alder Stevens?
Yeah.
We got time.
Yeah, in reality, they broke the law.
Right.
Yeah.
They truly did. Maybe not understanding the law very well, which it seems like, but they broke it. And, I hope they got the correct people now that can coach them in this business, help them move forward. Yes, I think Green Bay to survive. I know it's very difficult right now. I have friends that are in their business and they're hurting. And I understand all that. But they did break the law, and hopefully they understood that they broke this law. So, but I want the business to survive, so I will say, let's move forward.
Okay, I appreciate all the comments. All in favor, please say aye. We did say aye. That passes unanimously. And again, Aaliyah and folks, this goes to council on January 19th. Tuesday at 6 p.m. And so you may want to be there just in case somebody decides to pull this item. But normally we hashed it out pretty well at the committee, and there were a lot of good comments by everybody, and I appreciate all the dialogue. So we're hoping for the best. And Leah, we think that you will be very good at working with these owners. So thank you.
Thank you, Alder.
Okay. So
All right. On to item number 5.
okay, number 5, a request by Alder Scannell for consideration with possible action on an appeal by Paul Bockiber for inspection fines on 202-208 South Webster. I know that Paul is here, and
Yes, Alder
Go
Sawyer,
ahead.
before we move forward,
Yes,
before
go
we move
ahead.
forward, staff's recommendation before I turn
Yes.
it over to Chief Building Official Van Kelster. Staff's recommendation at this point is to deny the appeal based on the appeal not being timely. Appeals for reinspection fees are 30 days from the issuance of the fee. And there are several that are way beyond the 30-day window. And accordingly, staff is recommending that it be denied based on that timeliness issue. My understanding, though, is inspection staff's recommendation is to proceed on a handful of those appeals and pushing them within the window. But I'll defer to Chief Building Official Van Kelster on which of those they would be agreeable to proceed and review this
Okay,
evening.
thank you. Thank you, Attorney Bungert. Paul, if you care to?
Is this Paul Bockiber? Can you hear me?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. We didn't open the floor yet, Paul. We're gonna.
Okay,
We'll get to you. Don't worry.
thank you.
Paul Van Kelster from the Inspection Department.
Correct. The whole case started in May 22nd of 2019. It's been going on since then. Paul reached out to me on October 21st of 2020 and asked that everything be waived and disregarded because it was a foreclosure process and he wasn't in the loop. I asked him for a plan of how he was going to address the issues to try and clean it up as he was going through that. He said he had no plan. He wasn't going to do anything until the new owner took over and the new owner would address the issues. Looking back, like Joanne just said, the 30 days, all these are before the 30. But what I'm willing to do tonight to show some agreement towards what Paul is asking is I would waive 13 from when he called me on October 21st and we talked for a good 35, 40 minutes about the issues. I'd waive those 13 for a total of $650. The rest are before he took any action.
What was that total, Paul? I mean, the total before that. I gotta bring that
I
up.
don't have that,
1,000.
Alder Steuer, because
Okay.
it's been going on for over 2 years. Some of it went to the tax roll.
I think, wasn't it 1,000 something? I don't have the exact.
I'm having a hard time bringing it up right now. I
It was
wanted to bring.
1,800.
Okay,
What,
And you-
$2,800?
28. Okay, well,
Oh, 28. Oh,
and Paul Van Kelster, you said you would bring it to what?
I would take $650 off.
Okay,
The thing to remember is Paul didn't want to do anything to correct any of the issues for the benefit of the city, the neighbors, or the community. And Bill Pappy and myself tried talking to him on a couple occasions, and he didn't care to take any approach relative to addressing the issues. It was just,
Okay.
I'm going to leave it sit, and a new owner can take it over.
okay. I'd like to hear from Paul Bockiber. Unless committee, do you have any questions of Paul? Otherwise, we'll open the floor.
I'll move to open the floor.
Okay, by LaFave. Second by Stevens or by Vanderleest? Second by Vanderleest. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Oh, okay. That passes unanimously. Mr. Bockiber, if you care to, state your name and address for the record. And then you
Paul
can.
Bockiber, 4955 Founders Terrace in Hobart.
Okay. You've heard what was stated by our inspection department. If you could talk to the committee and feel while should be waived. So go ahead.
Well, there's a couple issues. I think just quick background, I represent Verve Credit Union. And this was a piece of property where the owner ended up in a coma. We foreclosed on the property. We took title of it in September. I had communication with Scott Nelson in regards to what our intention was back in September. Shortly after we were able to take title to it, we were able to find an offer to purchase on it. Because it was occupied, it took us longer to close it, especially with COVID. We'd not been able to evict the people that were on board. And one of the conditions of the offer to purchase was that the property needed to have no tenants in place at the time. I had contacted Paul, like he said, in the first part of October. I also sent him emails on October 28th and November 3rd without any response. He also did not respond to at least 2 voicemail messages. On November 11th, because of the lack of a response, I reached out to the mayor's office. I had communication with Celestine Jeffries, who contacted the Paul's department, and they said they would not do any reduction of any fees. I guess my first question is, why would they go out and inspect the property every day for a $50 charge? Doesn't make any sense to me. And I did say that I was going to wait for the buyer to fix it up because I would not specifically know what the buyer's intention was to fix it up. For me to spend a lot of money in doing that would not be very business sense to me. It doesn't have any, if it was out there for 6 months, a year, I could understand that thought process, but we're talking about having it owned the property for about 7 weeks before we're able to close on it. It would have been a lot quicker if it had been for COVID and the inability to get the tenants out when we sold the property.
I guess the question, Ms.
There
Paul,
were,
go ahead.
in the month of September, there were an inspection almost every day for $50 a day. In private industry, people wouldn't get away with that. I'm not sure why the inspection department thinks that it's a motivator for people to go ahead and improve it by just throwing $50 bills at them. I don't understand that. But when I first attempted to do this, I called up the inspection department and they said that Paul Van Caster was the person to appeal it to. So I thought I would talk to Paul and get it done. Talk to him, and the only response he gave to me is that the $50 inspection fee was to be a motivator for people to fix the problem. To me, that doesn't make sense, but I'm not a government official, so I don't know specifically how you think about that. But there were 5 inspections in July, 10 in August, 18 in September, and 6 in October, which doesn't appear to me to have any practical sense at all, other than billing the people that can pay it once the Verve Credit Union was in the foreclosure process. I'm
well, I understand where you're coming from, Paul. I guess the question I had, Mr. Van Kelster mentioned that he had contacted you a number of times and you didn't get back to him.
I disagree with that.
Okay.
I disagree with that comment.
Well,
he never contacted me that I did not react to him. I'd like
Paul,
to see that, please.
Okay, well, hold on a second. I'm going to ask Paul Van Kelster. Paul, when you, we've had a few situations like this over time, and I've seen it where you said there might be a minimum of 1 inspection a week, and sometimes it seems like there's 3 or 4, depending. I guess I just I have a kind of a hard time just understanding, why there'd be multiple inspection. You said something to the effect that a minimum of at least once a week. So that's one thing. And as far as communication, there's telephone, there's email, every situation is different, but I'm just wondering on this case, it sounds like you stated that you tried, very hard to contact Mr. Bachhuber, and it seemed like, it was falling on deaf ears or nobody was hearing this. So I don't know if you could just answer to that.
Sure. It's reversed from that. Paul tried calling me and we talked that first day in October for, like I said, 30, 40 minutes. Paul proceeded to, we went over everything. We went over the fact he's got a $40,000+ water bill, that he's got inspection fees, all this stuff because he had a business deal that went south and now he's in the pickle where he's got these re-inspection fees that he wants waived. He then proceeded to do a recap email on Monday. We spoke on like Thursday or Friday, and he asked the same questions we just went over. I basically responded saying, we talked about all this, and he asked me to waive the water. And I'm like, that's not me, that's the water department. So I have responded to Paul, but I don't continue to respond when it's the same questions, hoping for a different answer, if that makes sense.
Well, it does. Committee, do you have any questions right now? The floor is still open, so you can
Can I
ask.
make a couple comments in regards to that, please?
Well,
This is
hold on,
Bach
Paul.
here.
Paul,
I'm sorry?
hold on. I'd like the committee to have the opportunity to ask you questions if possible. Alder LaFave, did you have a question?
Yeah, Paul Van Caster, you said that the first one was in May and then it continued after that. So,
The order was written in May 22nd of 2019. That's
okay,
when this whole thing started.
so who actually owned the property then?
The original owner, not
Red
the credit
Doe.
union.
No,
Red
Red
Doe,
Doe
yeah.
owns the property.
Okay.
Okay,
Hold
so
on,
are
Mr.
those,
Wackerbill.
okay, so those fees, are they part of this bill?
Some are and some aren't. Some already went to the tax roll, property tax roll, and they would have been paid by Paul's company or however the foreclosure worked out. These new ones that he's referring to are the ones that are since that time, the 2020 ones.
I would say he definitely is responsible for the ones after, he was took over. But wouldn't you go after the original owner for some of the earlier inspection
No.
fees?
No, we never do. It sticks with the property. This happens all the time when someone comes and buys a property. They have to do their due diligence and look and see if there's any
Okay.
outstanding issues on a property. When there is, they're accountable for them. I can't tell you how many times people have called and said, well, I didn't know. Well, you got to do your due diligence and see if there are any. I mean, it's not just us that have things on the property tax that they're accountable for.
Yeah, right.
If we can't waive them all just because people don't do it. Some go into the deal knowing it's there and hoping they'll get it rescinded or refunded so they don't have to foot that bill.
Yeah. This happened before with another property where, what was it? Was it something with sanitary sewer or something? Remember, it was a big thing.
Yep.
And
Over
the
on
thing
Elm.
is, I don't know, maybe we need to put out some press release or something telling people, when,
No.
I don't know how to help people to know what to do. A lot of people don't know what to do. And I guess they need some direction. I don't know.
The truth be told, that's on the realtor as they're working the deal to do a purchase. The realtor is the one that should do the background check and find out what they're getting into or not getting into. That's what you pay them for.
Mm-hmm.
In this case, it's different. It was a foreclosure, and Paul's
Yeah.
stuck with a business deal that went south.
Yeah.
Okay. Alder
Yeah.
Vanderleest, do you have anything?
I was going to ask, what kind of violations were these written up on? What were the violations? Some of them.
Give me a minute and I'll pull it up and see.
Is there a way you can share the screen, Paul? I can't get that list up. Or not. If you can't, that's fine. Or Celestine, is there a way?
Yes, for Paul Van Calster to share a list. Joanne?
That would be helpful.
Was that in the council? I'm sorry, was that in the committee packet?
It was, but
No,
for some reason.
Okay, so Paul, I will make you a co-host so that you can share your screen, okay?
Okay.
There you go.
So I don't know if you guys can read all that.
Well, we could try.
Litter.
A lot of
Solid waste.
external storage. There were issues with the building itself, with the structure, foundation, exterior, roof, peeling paint, maintenance, weeds were huge. What spurred all this was a police complaint that the water had been running forever and they'd use a tremendous amount of water, like thousands of dollars worth of water. And when our inspectors went in there, they found one of the tenants that hadn't been paying rent forever, but this is not the city's issue. Hadn't been paying tenant or hadn't been paying rent. The water spigot had been broke, and she just left it run full speed for months and months and months. So,
So I guess the question I had, and I know the floor is still open, but did Mr. Bachhuber own this property at that time? At the time that was going on?
no, that would have been the original owner, the
original
Red
owner.
Doe Properties LLC or whatever.
Okay. Okay, well, I see quite a bit there. Alder Vanderleest, was there something
Yeah,
else you want?
I viewed them all. I viewed them all. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, that's one of those situations. It's kind of in between again all the time, but the floor is still open. So does anybody have any more questions of Mr. Bachhuber?
I just have a statement that I think he's going to have to, I don't know, go get a lawyer and sue the former owner. Try to get some of the money back because some of this was not his, was done before, but legally, Green Bay can't go after he said it stays. This is what the ordinance is. It stays with the property. And unfortunately,
The reason we foreclosed on the property was that the owner doesn't have any money and was not able to pay. So that's not an option to do. I guess one of the questions that was raised by one of the aldermen was why would you have 18 inspections in the month of September when there's only 21 business days in the whole month? You only missed 3 days. What's the purpose of all those inspections?
Well, I know we brought that up, and I think, we have talked about this in the past. And that's,
yeah.
I think, I can see, the minimum maybe of once a week type of thing. There might be extenuating circumstances with some of the issues that are really bad, like a running faucet. That's not good. Sometimes that dictates it, but generally speaking, I would think that a lot of times the inspection department would go in a minimum of once a week, so it's not overkill. But the inspection is offering to take off whatever that amount was. I'd lean toward that. If anybody has any more questions of Mr. Bachhuber, otherwise we need to close the floor to discuss. Anybody else?
Motion to close the floor, Mark.
Okay, that's by Vanderleest. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by LaFave. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Committee, go ahead. What are your thoughts? I've got a few. I feel that the city, I know it's a tough situation. The inspectors go through quite a bit on this as well, and my feeling is that they're making some offer to take some of the monies off. The owner is liable. You got to let the buyer needs to be aware. So many times we have cut some of the slack on some of these issues in the past, but I'm willing to look at what Mr. Van Kelster stated and go with his recommendation. If anybody else wants to talk about that or make a motion, I would entertain that.
I'll second that motion, Mark. I'll second that motion.
All
You
right.
have to make the motion.
For
Why
the
don't you
record,
make-
what was
Well, the
the
motion-
amount?
Yeah, what was the amount?
The amount was to rescind 13 reinspection fees for a total of $650.
Okay, so one of you make that motion, if you would.
I'll make a motion to rescind the 13 inspection fees totaling $650.
Okay, by Stephen,
Second.
second by LaFave. All in, any other discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, that passes. Mr. Bockiber, this goes to City Council on January 19th at 6 p.m. You have a chance to bring that forward to the entire council. You want to bring that forward again. So,
What would that entail?
well, we could, if you want the item pulled so that you can discuss it at City Council, one of us could do that, if you want to do that.
Or Alder Scannell who brought it forward,
Alder
right?
Scannell, in fact, is Alder Scannell here? He's not here. I was
No,
thinking
Alder,
that.
he's not here.
Okay. All right, so that would entail you talking to your Alder Scannell, and having him do that for you so that you could discuss it at council. That's my suggestion.
Mhm.
Okay.
Otherwise, you think the 650 will be approved by the entire council? Is that what your recommendation?
Well, that's what we approved right now.
Okay.
Okay.
It's not what I was expecting. I was hoping for more, but I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Okay, Attorney Bungert, I'll wait for you.
Yep, we are on to item number 6.
Number 6, consideration with possible action on an appeal by Amanda Lee regarding the denial of her operator's license. So staff?
Yes, staff's recommendation is to deny based on several offenses which relate to the license activity that indicate that the appellant is a habitual law offender and therefore precluded from holding the license under state statutes. I believe the denial memo detailing the different convictions and offenses is in everyone's packet.
In case that's not brought forward, can you share that on the screen, or do we need to look at our packet?
I can try and email that to everybody, but because of the confidential
Right.
nature of the
Right, I understand. Okay, I did read it over briefly, but I don't have it in front of me right at this moment. Lieutenant?
Please concur with law.
Okay. All right, well, I believe, let's see, Miss Lee is here. So I would entertain a motion to open the floor
Motion to open the floor.
by Vanderleest. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Stevens. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Okay, the floor is now open. Amanda Lee, if you would care to unmute and state your name and address for the committee, and then move forward, and we'll ask you questions, and you can speak as to why you feel you want this appeal to be appealed. For lack
Okay,
of words. Go ahead.
Amanda Lee, 907 Wilson Ave, Green Bay, Wisconsin, 54303.
Okay. All right. Well, you heard our city attorney and also the police department. So, why do you feel that the committee should allow this to happen? So, go ahead.
Yes, I did commit crimes. I am recently getting off of probation. I am just waiting for the paperwork to go through. I was not able to get the copies of that yet so that I could send them to you guys. You guys were aware of it. I'm trying to do the best that I can. I'm not committing any more crimes. I learned my lesson. I'm just trying to make a better life for me and my children.
Okay, do you have any letters or anything from employers or anybody that could testify on your behalf?
Yes, I did send in letters from social workers that I have
Actually,
worked with.
Right, I did see that. Yes, thank you.
I did try to get my probation officer to also do that. She had stated that she was unable to do that.
Okay.
I could possibly get something from my employer because my employer does not want to lose me.
And just for the record, where are you at right now?
U-Pump or / Sicko on Velp Avenue. It's a gas station.
Okay. All right. Committee, do you have any questions of Ms. Lee?
I have one, Chairman.
Go ahead.
The last one was last year, 2019. Well, actually, that's
Yeah,
right,
well,
2021, 2019. What date on that? What month?
I believe that was in October. I was in the process of being homeless with me and my children. And I was trying to get my stuff out of storage before I lost everything to go to Appleton to live with my aunt. And I had gotten pulled over because there was a chain on the trailer or something that was causing sparks.
Okay.
But here it says due to alcohol. Were you drinking?
No.
No, Alder Lefebvre, it's an operating while revoked, and the revocation was due
Oh,
to
okay. Okay.
alcohol.
No,
Oh, I see. Okay.
revocation.
Okay. Okay. I understand it now.
And that's a misdemeanor? Well,
Yes.
Attorney Bunger?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. She has no felony convictions. They
Right.
are all misdemeanor
Okay.
forfeiture.
Right,
Okay.
okay.
And I
Is it-
am in the process of working on slowly getting my license and trying to get back on my feet again.
Okay.
Is it possible that this could be held up till we can get that she can submit letters from her employers?
Well, there's always a possibility. My thought would be that, depending if we approve this or not tonight, that those letters could be forwarded at city council.
Okay.
I believe the committee has, yes, the committee has approved on the contingency that the applicants submit letters from their employer.
Okay, because I would definitely like to see that to make sure that, that they feel that she is actually, learning from her mistakes and wants to move on with her life.
Well, go ahead, Alder Stevens.
So if I'm looking right, the OWI was in 2016.
Correct.
Correct.
Then 2017, you were stopped again for driving. And
Yeah,
then- And again in
had-
2019.
The one after the 2016 was dropped because there was a situation that I was just trying to leave my house because it was very unsafe.
So you took it upon yourself to drive.
I had no way to get away from this person.
Okay, my other question for you, there's many, many jobs that are available out in the city. Why are you choosing to go to this employment for work when there's other opportunities out there that would not allow, that you could take, that you would not be coming in front of us for forgiveness?
It's like I said, I do have 4 children. This job is 4 blocks away from my house, so I do not have to drive. I walk to and from every day that I'm scheduled. And transportation, with not having my license, I'm not taking them chances anymore. I just want to be able to do everything legit and not have to worry about looking over my shoulder or even trying to find a ride to get to and from work.
Okay, well, Alder Stevens, anything else? Otherwise, Alder.
I'd like to give her another chance. It sounds to me like she's not driving to work. It's not far from her home. Sounds like she needs employment. I'd be willing to give her another chance. Simple as that.
Okay. You can make.
I do have one question. I do have a question.
Go ahead, Alder.
2019, are the fines currently paid?
I am going to be going through a payment plan with that. Because of my OWI, I do have a pretty big fine out there. And then once I'm able to get on my feet a little bit more, I'm trying to do it with my taxes, is just try to look for a vehicle and get the breathalyzer installed into the car and pay all my fines with that.
Okay. Okay, Alder Vanderleest, you were making a motion?
I'd make a motion to grant her request to get her license back.
We do need to,
Oh, yes, again. We
Yeah,
need a
close.
motion to close the floor.
we need to close the floor.
Motion to close the
Have
floor.
a second.
Second.
Second by Stevens. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, that passes unanimously. Okay, committee, Anderlecht?
I make a motion to grant her license, give her a chance to get her license back. Sounds like she's going on the right path, and maybe we can help her along that path. Thank you.
Okay, do we
Motion.
have a second?
I'll second that with the contingents that we will be reviewing a letter or letters from her employer.
Okay, Alder Vanderleest, that's okay?
That's okay.
All right, so.
Alder
Alder
LaFave,
Vanderleest.
would you like that?
Oh, she could, yeah,
Alder
go ahead.
LaFave?
As part of the motion?
Yes, that's fine. I just wanted to clarify that the applicant will be filing her letter with the clerk's office, and upon receipt, then her application or her appeal will be approved,
Yes,
or her license will be issued. Okay.
yes.
Will that be done in time for council? Will that be done in time?
Well, council still has to approve this action, so if she does
Right.
file it by the 19th, then she should be able to pick up her license on the 20th. But the clerk's office would need to have that letter in either prior or on the day of council in order to get it on the 20th. But we still need that council approval for the license to
Okay.
move forward.
So Amanda, is Amanda aware of that? I know the floor is closed right now, but as long as she hears that, work with the
Yes.
clerk's office.
To just
Can you
file,
repeat that again, please?
yes,
How I
you will
would
need
go
to,
about doing that?
you would just essentially file the same person that you submitted all your paperwork to for the appeal this evening. You would
Okay.
submit a copy of that letter of reference from your employer. So your approval tonight is contingent upon you providing that letter from your employer. And that this recommendation is going to go in front of council on the 19th. So if council approves and you submit that letter, then you should be able to obtain your license on the 20th.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
We
did
still
vote?
need to, we didn't vote yet.
We
so
didn't vote yet.
We have a
Okay, all in-
motion by
all in
Alder
favor-
Vanderleest.
Right,
Yep.
seconded by LaFave. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
Opposed.
Okay. That passes 3-1.
Can I abstain? I would like to explain why I oppose.
Oppose or abstain?
Yep.
Go ahead, Alder
Oppose.
Stevens.
Yeah, oppose. I oppose
Mhm.
due to the fact that the citation is only a year old.
Mhm.
And also there was no letters of recommendation or people that came on behalf.
Well, there were a couple. There were a couple in the committee in our letters. We did get some from a state,
I didn't see
somebody from the
anything.
state.
Well, that's state, but the employer,
Okay,
there was none of that came through. And because that one citation is only a year old, unfortunately, I do need to oppose this.
okay. All right, so that passes 3-1. So Amanda, city council is on January 19th, Tuesday at 6 PM. I would suggest that you'd be at that meeting, and it'll go in front of the entire council. So,
Will it be virtual meeting again then?
yeah, yes, it will,
Just like this?
just like this.
Okay. Will I get paperwork or anything in the mail saying how to connect? Because I was having connection problems before.
Basically you go to the city, well, you can go to the city website and they have meetings. It says meetings and agenda, and you can click that on, and then it'll take you right to the city council, and then you click the top button or the top line that says Zoom meeting instructions, and that'll walk you right through it. And there's a
Okay.
number, it'll give you a number that you need to type in to get into the meeting. If you have any questions, you should be fine.
Okay.
Okay,
All right. Thank you very much.
you're welcome. Good luck. All right,
All right, item number 7.
number 7. Consideration with possible action on a request by Alder Dorf that staff research a change to Alder terms from 2 years to 3 years, beginning with the 2022 election First off, Alder Dorf, thank you for your extreme patience. I know you're used to some longer meetings, but we probably could have moved you up a little bit, but I don't know.
I would have
Well,
stayed anyway. I enjoyed.
Yes, you would
watching.
have.
Yes.
So we don't feel overly bad.
She
Anyway,
really
go ahead.
likes you, Mark.
A little bit, just a little bit. Okay, go ahead, Alder Dorf.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Really, before I would want staff to spend a lot of time researching, I'm really looking to see if there's an appetite among city council members to consider this. This has been brought up by other city council members. I'm not the only person that's brought this up. Couple of things could be possible. One, that everyone would just simply go to 3 years if we, decide that that's what we want to pursue. Partly because you get on city council, you're on a year, and then you're running again, and it takes away from really your ability to focus on the work. The other thing that could happen is we could get like 6 council members to run, and then they would have a 3-year term, and the other 6 would have 2, but then after that they would have a 3-year term. What that would do would kind of alternate terms so that there wouldn't be a risk of every council member being off at the same time. And that's what they do, for example, with school board. They have alternating terms. So there's all kinds of possibilities, but I was really looking for some direction from this group to see if this is something that we as a council would like to just at least talk about and pursue. I know there are some timeline restrictions for this to be done by the 2022 election. We would have to decide fairly shortly. I know there are 2 different ways it can be done via referendum, or it can be done by the sitting council. But I don't know all of the legal ramifications of it. Before we have the staff research all of this, is there an interest?
Well, let me just ask really quickly, Alder Dorf. Have you checked with any other communities around Wisconsin per se that maybe have I haven't done that, but have you looked at any other communities that have done this? Like 3-year terms or 4-year terms, anything at all?
I don't know. Alder Stevens and I were working on it together. Alder Stevens, I don't know if you did that.
I did not do that.
Okay. Well, I'm just wondering.
I did talk to Vanessa directly, but we chose to hold off until later in 2020.
Well, let's have the discussion. Alder Lefebvre.
Yes. Yeah, I thank Alder Dorf and Stevens for, talking about this, looking into it. I had this question when I first started. Why are all the alders up for re-election on the same time? There's only 12 of us. It's conceivable it could happen where you would have a huge turnover on the council, and then you have new people who don't understand things that went before and why we have different ordinances. And there was something, I can't remember, that came up, I think, wasn't it last year or something? And someone on the council who was on there a long time, he says, wait a minute, I remember this happening before, and this is why we did it. And you need that. That's valuable information for all the new people that, end up on, and I'm still learning. And this is my 3rd year. Yeah. But I think that's really important. People that have been there longer and they got all this information that they can help, especially new people that come on, it's a big learning curve. And I did question a while back, why are we all in the same? I'd like some alternating at least.
Well, I like that idea too. And Alder Dorf, I don't know if you or Alder Stevens, just comment on that. How would you, in your mind's eye, what would you like to see as far as how would you stagger that? 6 on, 6 off? How would you do that?
That would be, initially, if we chose to go alternating. And we also have to be aware now that we have a term limit. So that also is going to impact things. So it doesn't mean we can't do the math and figure things out and figure out how the elections might be staggered because of that. But we could, I would think we'd have to do even and odd, maybe coin toss, very random, like, okay, the evens are going to go for 2 years in 2022. The odds will have 3 years. After that, everyone will have 3 years. And that way it's staggered. It's just automatically.
Well, that
staggered
makes
because
sense.
2, 3,
That makes
yeah.
sense. Only
That's one
because
way.
you don't want to do just east side, west side. You know,
No, no.
We couldn't.
I know. Well, I'm
Because we
just
have some
saying,
people that-
I
yeah.
wouldn't want that.
Let's not have this fighting east
No,
west.
no fighting. Oh,
No, so that's one way. I mean, I'm only one person, Craig's only one person. There could be multiple ways. It also doesn't need to be, that's one reason why we're bringing it forward, but it's not saying
Right.
that it has to be that way. The
Sure.
other reason is the 2-year terms, you're just turning over so quickly. It's, you almost, especially with the new people, don't even learn it and you're running again. And 3 years seemed reasonable to me.
right.
Me too.
Alder
I gotta make a
Vanderleest?
comment here, Mark.
No, go ahead, Alder Vanderleest.
I'm comfortable the way we're doing it with the 2-year term. I think that I can't see a change warranted personally. I think it's just good government. If you want to hold a job, you know, you have to get out there and campaign. And if it's 24 months that you're in for 24 months, I think that's, you know, it kind of helps out as far as keeping everything even, you know, with the constituents. If they like you, they'll put you back in office. And I think the 2-year program has been in effect for quite a few years. I don't really want to see it change personally. I think it's just, you know, good government. That's what we've been doing.
And John, do you feel that all at one time have to run? Do you think maybe staggering it so that you got?
I'm not in favor of changing as far as, I think, in other words, running, all of us running at the same time. I think it's just good principle. In other words, everybody knows what the term is and what's involved. And some people might not want to serve for 3 years. You know, some people want to give it 2 years and maybe they'll bow out. We don't know. But I'm just saying, I think the 2-year program that we got, it's pretty sound. In other words, if we get stuck with somebody that's not a good for the city, in 2 years they'll be gone.
Alder Dorf? Alder
Okay,
Dorf?
really?
We can
What
impeach them.
what I'm hoping for is to have the broader discussion at council. That's what I'm hoping, just to get everyone to weigh in. Should we even pursue it? So, you know, yes, I appreciate the discussion here. I'm hoping what we would maybe do is move it for discussion to council. I don't know if that has to be just approving discussion,
Right, I
not
understand.
necessarily approving changing it. Let's approve talking about changing it. That's what I'm looking for.
Well, I know Alder Stevens. Go ahead, Alder Stevens.
Do we need to forward this to the law department so we can get the complete understanding on what we can and cannot do? Joanne?
Joanne?
Yes, so this will require some research because we don't know exactly offhand. And it all kind of also depends on what the council members are looking to see, whether we want to have alternating or to increase the terms or to increase terms for certain alternating members, when this would go into effect, how it would interplay with the current term limits that we have, and then whether this will require a charter ordinance amendment or a general ordinance amendment. We haven't looked into this at this point because we were looking for more direction from the alders. So I don't anticipate that we would have any answers per se for the council meeting for next week, as we still need a little bit more specificity as to what what council and what alders are looking to have accomplished with this.
Well,
So would you by chance have additional information from the next protection policy?
We could, however,
But Barb has a question.
Well, no, the whole idea was not to have law do work until we find out, is council interested? So the whole idea is not to have all the answers for council. The idea is does council interested in the discussion? And if through our discussion, we say, you know, yeah, we'd like to move forward and get some more answers, then we will ask law.
Then you would ask staff to get involved.
Yes. I don't want to make work for them if there isn't the appetite in council to do it.
You brought this forward, Alderdorf, so we're wide open. I mean, we're talking about everything here, and I think, some are against, I think some are open to the possibility.
No.
So with that being said, we should just refer it to, I don't know what kind of vote we need to take on this, just to allow it to go to council. If it's a 3-1, it doesn't matter. It could be pulled at council anyway. So
is that why
I
so
guess
we
go
just
ahead,
want it
Alfred.
pulled?
Well, no, I would, I'm looking at what Alderdorf said, and I think it has legitimacy, at least to be listened to at council. So, my feeling would be to just bring it forward, yes or no, or 2-2 tie, whatever, just vote on it and at council, and then council will help direct to say, okay, well, we need more research done on this.
Well,
but in reality,
is
that's
this
probably what's
committee of
going
the
to
whole?
happen.
Yeah, it'll happen, I think, anyhow.
Or it might not.
Or it might not, I don't know. So
I don't know.
I guess, well,
We can't just say forward to the council to discuss it. Would it have to be a committee of the whole request?
No,
But how would we do it?
Council right, committee can just basically vote to move this item without recommendation for discussion by council. If we
can't, okay.
Committees have done so, and they didn't feel comfortable or ready, or for whatever reason, to make a ultimate decision or recommendation. Okay. So it's essentially just advancing the item so it's a motion to advance the item without recommendation to the full council. And
See, I'm learning something new again.
Okay, so then I
okay, hold it one at a time here, Alder Stevens.
Don't take this the wrong way. We're gonna forward this to council without a recommendation. At council, it's going to be pulled, which we know it will be pulled, and then it's going to become into a discussion. And really, we're doing committee work at Common Council, which is always brought up that we shouldn't be doing committee work at Common Council.
But you know what? We've done that before. We have done that. So it's not, that's fine.
But we shouldn't be doing that.
Well, we shouldn't, but you know what? We've done that in the past, and 9 out of 10 times, it's nice to do it at committee. But I think this is one of those times where we could have everybody weigh in.
Right. But if we're looking for a yes or no from Common Council to move forward, then that's what it should be, a yes or no answer with no discussion. Right? I don't know, Barb?
I'll take Mark's recommendation that we just forward to the city council for discussion. That's simple as that. We're not making any judgments one way or the other. We're forwarding it to city council. That's it.
Okay, hold on a second. Alderdorf one more time, and then we'll move that forward.
I would agree that the motion could be and a yes motion to forward to city council for discussion. You're not voting on whether they take an action on it. You're just, so then it isn't like with no recommendation. It's saying, yeah, the committee's interested enough in this that we want to have some discussion. So I just don't want to make work for this staff if there is not the interest in this.
Right.
So I don't know if there is till we talk about it.
So Attorney Bungert, I thought you had a good motion. Is that the one that sounded pretty good to the committee, just to move it that way?
I believe so. It was just a motion to refer this request by Alderdorf for further discussion and consideration by the full council.
Okay, I'll make that motion.
Alder Lefebvre,
essentially just taking that without recommendation language out.
All right.
Yeah.
Alder Lefebvre, you made that motion then?
Yeah.
Do we have a second? Alder Vanderleest, did you want to do that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, Alder Vanderleest. Any other discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
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 All opposed, that passes unanimously. That's pretty simple. But thanks for bringing it. Thanks for bringing it up. Yeah, we try. That's all we can do. So we'll be fine. We'll be all fine. All right, we're getting down to the favorite part of the meeting.
Yes, almost, number 8.
Oh, number 8. Oh, boy.
One last general
We're
business.
getting there. I didn't quite say we were there yet. Consideration with possible action on a resolution in support of City of Green Bay employees. I know Alder Stevens, you were bringing this forward. I don't know if you want to comment on it right away, and what's your thought?
Well, there's a typo that we need to fix.
Oh, really?
Where is
Okay.
that?
Oh, where is
In
it?
the resolution itself?
Oh,
Yeah,
Okay,
Lynn
we
found
can
it.
address that. Okay,
well, that's just a clerical but anyway,
right, we can fix that
yeah.
prior to council.
Oh, Barb, you know where it's at? My computer's froze.
Barb, you're
I got that. I knew I was muted. Okay. All right. So I do know where it is. So go down to the third whereas, and then go to the fourth, fifth. Oh, where
There we
is it? No, it's like, it's the increased rate of pavement resurfacing. So boy, it's a lot of bullet points down.
yeah, you got a lot of
Two
bullets.
pages. Boy, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Bullet point 11 under the third whereas. I'll wait till you get there.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. The implementation of the
whereas.
office.
You know, the next one, an increased rate of pavement resurfacing and reconstruction by 20% over 2019 instead of 2019.
Okay.
Over 2018 and by 40% over the past 10 years. So changing of to over with the pavement resurfacing and reconstruction item.
Okay, that was the only one that you needed.
That was it.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. I know Alder Stevens, you put a lot of time into this, so describe briefly.
Yeah, I started the project, my thought process is that I wanted to recognize, staff members for the city of Green Bay. I did go to the ethics committee, they gave their blessing, but, with possible issues beyond that.
Right.
So it was the most easy, simplest way was to draft a letter and a resolution. So that's why we have the resolution in front of us for discussion, because this will be to appreciate our city employees and to show as a common council, hopefully as a whole, that we appreciate everything that you do for us.
And it seemed like because of the pandemic, things were really tightened up a little bit, so to speak. So there was more of a challenge a little bit to do your job.
Right.
Okay. At first blush, I have no problem with it. I'm sure that somebody might find a point or two, but I don't know. I feel pretty good with it. Committee, anybody else?
Motion to approve.
Second.
That was motion by Stevens.
No
Steven? Oh,
Vanderleest.
I'm sorry. I'm losing my hearing now too. By Vanderleest, seconded by LaFave. Any other discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
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 Good work on that, Alder Stevens. I appreciate it. And
Yes, thank you.
Alder Dorf too.
Thank you.
I think-
Mhm.
And
Thank you.
Alder Gerlach did
And
a
Alder
Where is she?
Alder Gerlach, of course, yeah.
Where is she?
She's very
Alder
good
Gerlach,
at.
Thank you.
She's
Thank
at
you.
plan. She had to go to plan, but I will tell her that you said thank you.
Please tell her on our behalf. Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, now are we getting to the favorite part?
Yes, we are on the liquor violation report.
Okay, let me, for some reason, I don't have my agenda up here. Just, could you read it for me, Joanne?
Sure.
Go ahead.
That is the liquor violation report for January 11th, 2021.
Lieutenant, this is your moment.
Yeah, I wait for it every time. Before I do that, I just wanted to introduce, we are restructuring over here at the PD. Lieutenant Nate Allen, who's sitting in with me, He is
Oh.
going to also be a community police lieutenant. He'll be covering the west side. I'll be covering the east side. So at future meetings, you'll see one, if not both of us at these meetings.
Okay,
Just-
Okay.
And
Welcome.
we'll be emailing all the alders with information like emails and phone numbers and that, so you guys are aware. So if there's an issue on the west side, you could speak to Nate directly.
right. Thank you for that. Thanks. Good to see you, Nate. You look good. You look good back there.
In terms of the liquor violations, the good news is we do not have any violations for this time frame.
What a beautiful thing. That's fantastic.
Motion
right.
to receive and place on file.
By Vanderleest,
Second.
second by LaFave. Any other discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you all. Happy New Year and all that good stuff. Thanks for
Mark.
all your
Yes.
work.
Mr. Stevens, thanks, Kathy. All the best. Hope you have
We
a
need
healthy
a,
year here.
Yeah.
Don't get
Yes.
We
COVID.
do need to adjourn.
No, we don't
Motion.
want, we don't want to. We don't want
No.
to.
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, motion by
Second.
Stevens, second by LaFave. Any otother discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Okay, now we can.
Everyone take care and have a healthy, safe 2021. And let's hope for a vaccine soon for us old folks.